This was a journey which began sometime when earthquake struck Gujarat. So my husband's organization, they put up a camp. I very organically and spontaneously was going with him and kind of became the coordinator for the camp and was spending almost 17 hours daily there. So we ended up supporting 700 earthquake victims daily for 2 months. During the earthquake, I met this amazing young person. They had come down from Delhi to support the earthquake victims, so they visited us. During the talks, I was showing them around. He asked me certain questions, and after that, he shared that you have the right material. You are the person who should start a NGO or who should run a program for social sector. That person was none other than the founder of Smile Foundation, Mr. Manish Marwa. I told him that I have not studied MSW. I have no clue that what you're talking about, how to run an NGO, how to work. He said, you have the one thing that is required, which is the passion and wanting to help. You are driven. You are a very nurturing person, and that is why you are the right person to do it. So the initial days were full of fun, full of learning, and daily I used to go home with lots and lots of, I was enriched daily. But enriching cannot sustain a project. So then I remember those early calls with the Smile Foundation office, and the word hand-holding is completely true for Smile Foundation being with an NGO. At least for Samvedna, I can say that there was complete hand-holding, and not, though they were monitoring as well as evaluating, and yet it was done with a very careful, in a very careful way of mentoring. The first time I had 30 children in my class when we began as Samvedna Trust with the help of Smile Foundation, and 1 year passed, and it was like there were over 125 children, and then came the aspect that, all right, share some document from your end. Now that you have finished 1 year, share documentation, share pictures, and we were like, oh my God, we haven't taken a single picture. And then the learning began. What is documentation? What is the need for documentation? I learned the need for branding. I learned that, it's one thing to do the work, and however much you want to do the work, it's important also to document and also showcase, and so that you inspire others. Started with 30 children. Very soon we were 300. Very soon we were 3,000. And then at some point we were 6,000 children whom we were supporting annually. And we learned that I was very passionate about my work, about the needs of my community. But I realized that everyone else was not as interested. So, how to get the attention of the stakeholders, which are important for the growth of the organization, so that you can serve better. So we had one program which came from Smile Foundation, which was e-governance. Going there, meeting other NGO members, there was this amazing peer learning, along with the actual things which you need to know around the governance of a non-profit which you have set up. Also, to somewhere you started understanding the needs of your beneficiaries of the community, but it's extremely important to know the needs of the other stakeholders and to understand what is their view or what is their stake here, whether it is about the corporates who are our donor community or the government sector. So understanding the civic body and how you can partner with the civic body, how you can make them show the larger picture, through various learnings we did. I believe sometime in 2016, Change the Game Academy emailer came to me, and I believe something pivotally, critically transformed during these, I think it was a 5-day program if I remember, it was a long time back. We had a residential program, but the experiential learning that happened through various activities that were happening from morning to evening, and for people who were actually doing this, we were in many ways doing it at the grassroots, and yet somehow to see the impact that it generates, or how it could be more structured, and the importance of doing it in a certain way, like the power of negotiation, or learning about reaching out to civic bodies or corporates with a plan and just saying that this is our common shared interest. So learning the act of communication, how to listen to the needs of the person who is sitting on the other side of the table. A lot of mock and role plays happened during our stay there with the other NGOs. We also wrote communication. How would you communicate in the radio about your own work? How do you run an ad about your work? About the importance of social media, technology, reaching out to them through such programs. One space which I think I was not very strong, which was with the donor community. First time I went to BSNL, but then the officers, the relevant people were talking to me, and they asked me that what are you offering us? So I was like, okay, I think they are offering us a benefit and we are offering them satisfaction of doing something for the society. And then I learned that it's about branding. We have to plan out a structure that, all right, we are offering you visibility during our program. One other very, very crucial thing was measuring the impact. Because a lot of time for us it is doing the act and the impact is intangible. And yet we are expected to show the impact to the donor community. One more thing which came out of CTG, if you are a leader, then you create leaders. Or if you are a leader, you are spending time in playing golf. That means you are learning the art of delegation, you are learning the art of networking with the people who are going to support you to take your project from here to there. If you don't know C, then you connect to A, and A may be able to connect to B, and B may be able to connect to C. So that is the strategy we applied. We connected with the Sarpanch. We told them we are running a school and shared with them a common shared interest that let's uplift the villages through education and through the nutrition program, connected with the Anganwadi women through the Sarpanch once again. And the Sarpanches called for small meetings in different villages. And we talked about, with the help of volunteers who used to play with children, and we showed them on the laptop a presentation about how education should reach out. There was no concept of pre-primary education here, and we know that how much powerful the brain is the younger the age. So to tap them young, we started pre-primary school here, and then it was important to give them the commute facility, because there's no public transportation here. We learned that there are a lot of factories, big industries around, especially pharma industries काफ़ी है यहाँ. We connected with them, we shared our dream, we got one vehicle, then we started this rural school. The first point was connecting with the parents, because to connect with the community itself is very important. And if you want to work with children, it only completes a circle if you work with the mothers, with the grandmothers. So we used to call lots and lots of parents meetings. Home visits is a must for our teachers, for their children, class bachas. All these learnings were beautifully woven into running a project, which is very much required. So this came very beautifully through Change the Game. It definitely did change the game somewhere for us.